Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from Creating Best Trade Academy. Sorry, we have not been able to make it for a while. Courtesy challenge with sorry, I'm trying to adjust my courtesy challenge with my schedule. Been a bit busy over the weekend, but it's good we're back again to be able to talk about Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars, and good to talk about Kogis today. Currently, Kogi is about to have an election, and the incumbent, as usual, will not want to leave, even though many people believe he has not done much. I'm not from Kogi State and I don't live there, but from all the feelers and discussion and information from Kogi State shows that the governor has really not done much. And people said he's one of the youngest governors, but he's not really be able to add value as expected. And sincerely, many believe he's a disaster. Many believe he has not done enough. Many believe he has not represented young people. So you are saying young people should give him chance, young people should give him chance, but it's like some young people are disappointing, because come to think of it, someone like Donald Duke was also very young when he became governor of Cross River, and he was there for 8 years, and he did a lot. Actually did a lot, even though some of the predecessor could not continue what he started, but the father he did a lot. But for this, if Donald Duke even tried to contest for president, despite the fact that after the governorship, and he stand a chance, only that of course eventually his party chose someone else, but he stand a chance because of the his performance as the governor of the state. Today we are looking at Kogi State, and remember we are discussing export-driven income generation and job creation in Kogi State. Remember, Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state have everything need to survive. But alas, Nigerian state have been able to survive. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything need to survive. But alas, Nigerian state has not been able to survive. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Kogi State is, Kogi State, Dangote have a cement in Kogi State, a cement factory in Kogi State, Bajana Cement, and billions is being generated from that place. Billions is being generated from that place. But you know what? That state, some believe is one of the most useless states in Nigeria. And why are they saying that? Because of the person ruling, directing the affair of the state, who, like I said, is supposed to be a young person. I think he was in his early 40s. But for one strange reason, the governor of that state has not lived up to expectation. And he has given many people room to doubt the capacity of young people to be able to lead any state in Nigeria. I just hope that politicians who gave him chance will not use that as a yardstick to measure the capacity of other young people in their early 40s or late 30s that will be able to rule and lead the state. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything need to survive, but Nigerian state has not been able to survive. So I'm looking at Kogi State today. If you look at Kogi State, for example, Kogi State, for example, is the governor of that state has not lived up to expectation. Has solid minerals like iron, clay, gemstone, marble, limestone, feldspar, dolomite, phosphate, mica, calciterite, granite, ornamental stone, kaolin, and it's the limestone that drove Obajana into that state. Now, for the agro materials from the state, cassava, yam, maize, rice, sorghum, soya beans, beniseed, cowpea, millet, groundnut, tomato, pepper, shea butter, citrus, mango, castor oil, cashew nut, livestock, poultry, and the like. This state have potential. Kogi State has potential. For you, if you are just joining, you are seeing it for the first time, we are basically saying that Nigerian state should begin to engage the youth of their state and let the youth of their state be the one to do the job. The job of generating income for the state by producing while the state export the item and buy off the people. And we are saying through export, a state can create jobs, a state can generate revenue in Nigeria through export. A state can create job and generate revenue in Nigeria. And that's why we call it export-driven income generation and job creation. Export is an area, a section in Nigeria that have been grossly neglected, probably as a result of the ignorance of the elite, who are supposed to drive the way. We only think when we are in distress. We only refocus our direction, make conscious about to do what we need to do when we are in distress. And I don't think we have to wait till we are in distress for us to do what is right for this nation, for our economy. Remember, Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything to survive, but Nigerians are not able to survive. The handlers of the economy has not been able to drive the affair of the state in the right direction. And the handlers of the economy have made it very, very difficult for Nigerian state to be able to survive. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. So let's look at cashew nut. This state, Kogi State, is called the confluence state. This state has an arable land mass of 1,145 hectares. 1,145 hectares of land. The state can build a system to generate every year about 100 billion just from cashew nut alone. The state can build a system that can allow the state generate 100 billion guarantee every year. In fact, right from February to June, they can generate as much as 100 billion as a state. So how will that happen? The state government partner with a citizen of their state. The state government have a larger share in the venture and the name that company that is registered. Then the state embark on a massive campaign for the youth of the state to plant cashew nut and let half of the arable land of the state we use for this. Half of the arable land of the state. If half of the arable land of the state is used for this, just half of the arable land of the state is used for this, then you discover that the state have everything to be able to generate that 100 billion every year. And I mean every year because we are looking at cashew nut for Kogi State, and cashew nut is a tree crop. By February every year, cashew nut is ready for harvest. So February, March, April, harvest can happen. So the state can generate a lot from the export of raw cashew nut. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has every need to survive. Alas, Nigerian state has not been able to survive. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything to survive. Alas, Nigerian state has not been able to survive. If half of the arable land in Kogi is used to cultivate, that means it will be 572,000 hectares. Cashew nut yield is about 0.8 metric tons per hectare. That means on that 572,000 hectares, we can generate 458 metric tons of cashew nut. At a $1,000 price FOB of cashew nut can be sold for $458,000. $458 million. If cashew nut at $458 million is converted to naira, that's 164 billion naira. Then assume that the cost of farming from what we have is 50,000 per metric ton per hectare. 50,000 per hectare, that comes to, if I cultivate 572,000 hectares, that comes to about 28 billion. If the farmer are generating about 50% of their return, that comes to about 42.9 billion. Cost of exporting is 6,000. 6,000 multiplied by the number of metric tons, that comes to about 27 billion. 27 billion plus 32 billion is about 70 billion minus 160. That comes to about 94 billion. The state last year generated IGR 11 billion. And I know the state is able to generate more because of the industry in the state. So all tax. The state is able to generate more simply because of tax. And remember my take on tax. Tax, in my opinion, is side hustle. Tax, in my opinion, is side hustle. Being side hustle, that means a state government, it will be very unwise for any state government to depend as a side hustle as the main source of income. Why is it side hustle? Because the state, when you support a state government, support is people to create job, to do business. The state government just get part of the money being made. The state government can be the one making all the money without paying tax to anybody. It can be the one making all the money without paying tax to anybody. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything it needs to survive, but Nigerian state has been unable to survive. Nigerian state has been unable to survive. Nigerian state has been unable to survive. Let's check the debt profile of this state. Let's check the debt profile of this state. That's the debt profile of Kogi State. Is Kogi Boroboro, or Kogi is very conservative? Is Kogi Boroboro, or Kogi is very conservative? Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state have everything needs to survive, but Nigerian state has not been able to survive. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything to survive, but Nigerian state has not been able to survive because the handlers of the economy have not been able to. Some of them don't even have a clue on what to do. Some of them don't even have a clue on what to do. Kogi State, yeah. Kogi State generated 64 billion last year. 11 locally, 53 from abroad. 11 locally, 53 from abroad. 11 IGR. 53 from Abuja, except from abroad, from Abuja. Kogi State is generating just about 10%. This state cannot survive without Abuja. Each time I see a state that cannot survive without Abuja, I say endangered species. No wonder economics will say that Nigerian states are not viable. Because these are states that the only source of revenue is is only the money government is giving them from Abuja, federal government. Do you know what that does to a state? It makes the state helpless. Oil price is about to drop. It's already dropping rather. That's a big discouragement. Disincentive. Because When the commissioner of finance of state go to Abuja for FAC allocation, they are going to tell them, sorry, we are very sorry. They know there is recession. We have not been able to get enough money. You know there is recession. You know we have not been able to get enough money. And you think that's tenable? That's definitely not tenable. If the state of the people of the state accept it, it's because they are being fooled. They need to reject every attempt year on year. Every attempt that the government just come to tell us this how much we want to spend, and at the end of the year they tell us how much they are able to get or realize, and they are focused only on taxes. Before you applaud the state government, don't applaud the state government because of the road he has built. Don't applaud the state government because of the things that he did with the money he collected on behalf of the state. Some will say, after all, he wouldn't have done it for. Who will he have done it for? I thought he was elected to help the people in the state. So when he build road, the government is not doing us a favor. When he build rail, he's not doing us a favor. When he work, in fact, whatever the state government do, that is the reason why he was hired and paid salary to do it. So he's not doing a favor, and he should be queried if he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Unfortunately. Many of them are unable to perform, but before they have access to the majority in the house, unfortunately are not able to do it. Nobody is able to remove them. So some of them will even spend 8 years, 8 solid years. You know, sometimes when you see how long these governors spend, 8 years, the state is locked up for 8 years, impoverished. Just like some state governors are taking over now, and in some states, I understand your state, Imo State, some of the cars are being carted away by the people that were there before, and they said it's part of the policy of the government to give to people the car they use. So what happened to the... We just live a life of waste. Knowing fully well that when they leave, another set of people are going to come in. It's like, I've come to take my own. You go and take your own. Leave me alone. Because the people are keen on governance. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything to survive, but Nigerian state is yet to survive. Let's go through each of the items the state can produce. Cashew nut. Cashew nut has 6.84 billion. Where can you export cashew nut to? India, Vietnam, 2 major buyers in the world. When US is another major buyer, but so US does not buy cashew nut with shell. They buy cashew nut without shell. So Nigeria still cannot export to US because they will prefer cashew nut without shell. That means it goes to Germany, Netherlands, Vietnam, India, United States, United Kingdom, France are major buyers of cashew nut around the world. These are the major buyers of raw cashew nut around the world. Major buyers of raw cashew nut around the world. Let's look at the next one. Sesame seed, $2.2 billion. $2.2 billion. Who are the buyer of the cashew nut? China, Turkey, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, China, Israel, United States, Greece, Germany. Asian are the major importer of sesame seed and major exporter of tahini. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state has everything needs to survive. If you state Nigeria is not viable, it's because the handler of the economy have not done what they need to do. Let's move on to rice, another product that Kogi can produce. India, Thailand, Vietnam, China, UAE, Saudi, Iran, Iraq, Bangladesh, South Africa, UAE, United States, Mexico, Brazil are major importer of rice. But look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Out of the $20 billion market for rice in the world, 4.7 billion is imported into Africa. 4.7 billion is imported into Africa. 4.7 billion. 4.7 billion. And you can be part of that. As a state, just exporting rice to countries in Africa. Another one, sesame rice. Africa is importing 4.7 billion. Then the next one is granite. Granite is another product, and it's about $2.89 billion market. Netherlands, Indonesia, Vietnam, Mexico are major buyers of this item. And that's the market that the state government can target to sell their product. The last one, but not the least before I go, is the fact that this state, I have no doubt in my mind of the potential and capacity of Kogi State. I just feel the governor needs to step up his game. So we need to begin to engage our governor. Let's ask the right questions. If someone say you want to become governor, Kogi State, Dino Mela, you want to come in, the incumbent want to come in, maybe there are other people in the state that want to come in, ask them what do they want to offer or has to offer the state. What they want to offer or has to offer the state. Is very unfortunate. The incumbent, very unfortunate. The people contesting, please ask them the right question if I'm Kogi State. What are you going to do to generate income for Kogi State? Ask that question from your governor. And if we can make export a priority in any state, in which the state encourage their people to cultivate for them. You know what that does? It creates job for the people in the state. It's a double, I don't want to say double, how do I describe it now? Double, what do I call it though? Two-pronged approach. Because two major things that confront every governor. How will I generate income to do what I have promised? So I won't tell a story at the end of 4 years. Sorry. 4 whole years, you're not able to do what you're supposed to do because you don't have money. But the question is, every problem is to be solved. So if I don't have money, I should be asking, how do I generate income? Please, let's stop looking for taxes. It's a very silly, lazy way of looking for income. We should take our taxi, but that should not be our major focus. The major focus should be putting what I've been learned to use through this video. not just depending on taxes, but in addition, depending on income generated as a result of direct export by the state government, like I always say, in conjunction with a citizen of the state, in which the state government have 80%, 70%, 90% of the stake, fund the project, engage their people to produce for them by giving them the seedling, giving them the right farm input, and supporting them to do the process. Thank you very much for listening. I'll be back in the evening, hopefully, to discuss Kwara State. Bye for now.